Welcome, Wanderers, to this evening's live stream. Now, you're probably wondering, where have we been? Because we haven't done a live in quite some time. Now, Lauren, what's been up?
They took the Airstream from us.
They took the Airstream. They did not technically take the Airstream from us. We dropped off the Airstream at a place called Rocket RV to have some repairs done. Now, you're probably wondering, like, what kind of repairs? Were there anything major or anything like that? And we had, so here's this little small list of things we had go out. We had the rear AC, it was kind of making a knocking noise. One of the burners on the stove just wasn't staying lit, something very, very small. And what else? It was like a couple tiny little things.
We had a window that had a little bit of a leak.
Yeah.
Just needed some sealant.
Like sealant. The stove had a thermocouple replaced, and the AC had a bolt that was loose, but you know what? We've covered 25,000 miles, and the fact that a bolt came loose in the AC, not that big a deal. So ultimately, we walked out of there with a bill for $0 because, of course, thank you for that warranty. So we are so excited to celebrate that we're actually back in the Airstream. And yeah, what else we got going on here?
Well, I mean, everybody knows when you celebrate, you should do so with champagne. And when one of the things that we did while we had the Airstream in the shop is we went down to Tampa Bay for some work stuff that we had to get done and to visit Daniel's family in Orlando.
We did.
And we had shipped some champagne there to my dad's house from
Keith Sparkling Wine in Texas.
Yep.
Fredericksburg, Texas. So when we stopped by there, we love the champagne so much, we ordered a case. We didn't have anywhere to ship it, so we shipped it to her dad's house, and we were down there in Florida. Of course, we just like loaded them all up, and we brought them back to the Airstream. And we were waiting for a special occasion, and boom, tonight is that night.
Truth. Okay, so many of you guys are jumping on. We're so freaking excited to hang out with y'all tonight. Hello, Rob, Brandy, Therese. It's so good to see y'all. Nancy, and are we on the road again? We're going to be soon. So we got lucky tonight, or well, I guess that's kind of a bad way to put it. We were supposed to be on a plane to New York. Woo! Holy majoli, that was so loud. We were supposed to be on a plane to New York City tonight, but unfortunately, because of Hurricane Henry, our flights got canceled. So we were going to New York to get some work done at the beginning of the week. So because our flights got canceled, we get to stay in the Airstream for another week.
Perfect time for a live stream. Yeah.
Yep. And we figured what better way to spend our evening than with y'all.
Much better than being on a plane headed into the middle of
a hurricane.
Yeah, not good. This is much better.
Yeah, that's a real thing. So we're super excited about hanging out with y'all. So we're going to hang out here in Nashville because it's easy for us to fly in and out of here. And we just moved our work trip to a week from today. So then, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Then we are going to be headed north, and we are going to probably stay somewhere fun in Kentucky before we go to Ohio for Illumapalooza, which is another Airstream rally. And we're super excited because it is at the mothership of Airstream.
Julie, I just see you asked if we're going to be at Illumapalooza. The answer is yes. The question is, are you going to be at Illumapalooza?
But Kirk, welcome. And Daniel always pops the champagne. I'm not sure if I would call that good because that scared the holy crap out of me. But
Brandon, what are the tire pieces on the highway called? Gators, my friend. And I will always, always remember that. We just talked about it the other day because there were plenty of gators on the road. And we were trying to avoid all of them because it must have been a big blot in front of us. There were pieces everywhere.
Bonnie and Brendan, hello. Good evening, you guys. We're excited about hanging out with y'all tomorrow. So you asked a good question. During midday, does our Airstream get uncomfortably hot? So we were literally just talking about this before we jumped on the live. So one of the reasons that Daniel mentioned that we had our Airstream in the shop was because our AC unit went out. And it was our back AC unit. And we have talked a lot of smack about how the fact that we didn't really think our Airstream Classic needed two AC units. Like, we mostly just used one.
Right? Yeah.
Until we got to Tennessee and it was freaking 90 degrees outside. I think we've had days in almost in the hundreds.
Therese, you know what I'm talking about. 30 amp hookup means one AC unit unless you're running off some generators. It got a little toasty. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets uncomfortably hot. with 1 AC. But now that we've got the 2 set up, we have been golden this week being back in the Airstream. So that's been nice.
Yeah. You, wow, a mustache. Yes. Yes, Aaron Thor, a mustache and beard is coming in. I have not, I mean, Aaron, this is just a beard. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no mustache here. Nothing to look at.
He's working on it. He's really
mustache is in progress. Mustache in progress.
So he is going to, or he has promised that the mustache goes after we run the Chicago Marathon, which is in about a little over a month from now. So
yeah, like 6 weeks, 7
this
weeks.
facial hair thing, it's.
I mean, we'll see what we'll see what happens. Yeah, we're gonna be running the Chicago Marathon, and then it's kind of important we talk about a few of the things we have planned ahead.
We got all sorts of things going on.
A bunch of stuff planned ahead. The RV show in Hershey, Pennsylvania, Jared. That's a very good question.
Oh, we've looked at that. Is it worth going? Have you been? If anybody's been, tell us. Because we were looking at that and it looked so fun. It's kind of inconvenient for our schedule this year.
Yeah.
So we'd have to drive out of our way to go. But we were thinking it might be worth it.
That would be fun.
It's supposed to be one of the largest ones in the country. But we know we're going to be in Florida for the winter, at least for part of it. And we want to go to the Tampa Bay RV show because we've heard that one's epic too.
Yeah, I believe that's in January.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, we kind of have to go. That's our stomping ground there.
Yeah.
Old stomping ground. Absolutely.
Okay, so Tanya says the facial hair may work, but the mullet needs to go.
Listen, look.
Oh my gosh, I think the facial hair is worse than the mullet. That's hilarious. To each his own, right?
I mean, look at these luscious locks coming in here. I mean, it is.
Cheers, Victoria, and hi, Alex. And what up, Eric?
Eric, good to see you, my friend.
Okay, Daniel, Ford F-250 question.
Okay.
Do you have a soft or hard
tonneau cover? The answer is hard. Yeah, and it's one of those
tell me what that is.
It's the basically truck bed cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so some of them are soft and they'll kind of like, you can like fold them back. Ours is a hard top and it slides back into, well, it's on a track. And aligning that track was kind of a pain in the butt. Did that when we first got started with the RV or the truck. But the fact that it just kind of like slides and it's like, you could technically stand on it, but I wouldn't do that. I think it holds like
in the sun.
That's true.
We're in the desert.
Yeah, but it's my favorite thing about that is locked.
Stable.
It's hard and it's metal and it has a lock on it. So because I keep the generators and a bunch of other stuff back there, having the hard top and having a lock is awesome. I know some people do the truck bed covers, which is also another option. But gives you more storage, of course.
If you want to get the full 4-in-1 on it, you can jump on our Amazon store. Like if you go to Amazon.com/shop/Wanderlocal, it's actually in there under truck favorites, so you can see all the specs. But we really do like it, and it's held up great, and it's made in America. Woo-hoo!
Brandy, thank you very much. Keep the mullet. Yes, absolutely.
Eric loves the hair too.
Carlos, my friend, looking good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Bill. Hope you're doing good. Tell Olivia we said hi.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what do you think of the new electric F-150?
I think that if I was towing something a little bit smaller than a 30-foot that could weigh up, well, let me just specify 30-foot Classic, because Flying Clyde and Classic can weigh different amounts.
They weigh significantly different amounts.
The Classic can get up there in weight, so if I wasn't towing a 30-foot Classic that could weigh up to 10,000 pounds, I'd probably still go at 250, but yeah, no. I think it's cool. I think
your truck can be a generator. Can we have a moment about why they shouldn't all be that way? Like, that's just smart.
No, some of the cool things I'm most jealous of on the newer trucks is they have like a massive screen now, apparently. We have a 2020, and the screen apparently is a lot bigger. I have not seen it in person, but I've heard that big screen is awesome.
I mean, we're kind of technology people, so of course we think that's great.
Yeah. Let me flip back through here as well. PVC 2112, you shoot your eye out, kid. That's funny. Yeah, like one of my favorite movies.
He's gonna try for sure.
And there may be a dent in the top.
Oh yeah, Bill. So that's a real thing. Yeah. So I don't know how it works with the new electric F-150. Isn't it like a dual? Does it do both?
I honestly don't have
electric.
I don't know a lot about the new F-150. I know people are going crazy over it. They're kind of going crazy over it like they're going crazy over the new, what is it? what is that? The new barn. What is it?
Pottery Barn.
New Pottery Barn edition of the Airstream. People are going crazy over as well.
That's
Again,
because it's
another
really
unit I
cool.
don't know a lot about, and it was just released. Let's see.
Well, so with Illumapalooza, if you aren't an Airstreamer or don't know what it is, it's another Airstream rally, but it's actually at the Airstream factory. So we are keeping our fingers crossed that we'll get to see some of these new cool units and can do some tours and show those to you guys, because that would be super fun.
We're going to video a factory tour. We're going to video the new Heritage Center there, so you guys can check it out. I'm really, really excited about that.
Yeah, Therese, that's what I was thinking, that it was a hybrid too, but I don't know. Y'all know I'm not the truck person.
Yeah, then that's quite possible. Yeah, I don't know too much about the new F-150. Let's see here.
Okay, Jared says, loved the tow vehicle video.
Yeah.
Can you comment on your electric device setup in your truck? Phones, phone holder, camera, on back of Airstream, any GPS devices? What do you like, don't like, and recommend?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been putting the TPS monitor, thanks to, actually, Aaron, thanks to you. Actually, I put the TPS monitor, it's so tiny that I put it right above my rearview mirror. And then really the backup kind of camera, I don't know where to put it. I'm kind of like
we've been setting it kind of like on the top or like on the console.
Yeah, and I've had it like down below, but
it.
We really don't use it that often.
Well, the quality of the camera is not all that great.
Yeah.
And the only thing it's really good for, well, when you're driving down the interstate, you can kind of see if somebody's tailgating you through it, but that's about it from a standpoint of it being good for anything.
Yeah, in terms of GPS devices, we just basically plug in our phones and we use whatever GPS navigation that we kind of favor at the time. We've kind of toggled between a few of them.
Typically, it's Google Maps. Sometimes we use
exactly
RV Life is the app that I use when we know.
Yeah, the
gonna be
apps we use for navigation kind of change a little bit. When you're out west, it's not as important as when you're apparently in the northeast.
Yeah,
we've yet to tow in the northeast, but we hear there's a lot of low bridges,
yeah,
low
RV
clearance.
Life
So that would be
for like actual
towing. So what we'll do sometimes is honestly, just to be safe, if we're in a bigger city, sometimes we'll use multiple apps and we'll kind of like take a look.
Check each one of them, see what they all say.
Yeah, and I'll use like a blended Google Maps, not just like the kind of colorful cartoony version and not like satellite, but like a blended version, and kind of zoom into certain spots.
Yeah.
Just to make sure there's no like hairy situations before we get on the road.
Oh, look, Rachel and Therese said that the Heritage tours were canceled because of the virus. That's sad. I mean, I totally get it, but that sucks.
Oh man. That
Hi,
is
Terry.
not. Man, we'll have to.
It's going good tonight.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
The tours are canceled. That's unfortunate. We'll have to
talk to the Airstream crew.
Yeah, we'll have to see if there's like
show it to y'all.
We'll have to see if there's some like ambassador leeway we can get in there and scope it out for everybody. That would be awesome.
Okay, Superheroes of Summer says you guys need a Built Right Industries dash mount for the camera. I have one in my 250. Okay, we're gonna have to Google that. I've never even heard of that.
Built Right Industries dash mount for your camera. Okay, 100%. So you use that for the backup camera. Okay, and then Aaron, you're saying the backup stream placement, think line sight anywhere inside. Literally, like Aaron, you're the reason I started removing a bunch of stuff from my line of sight there. So thank you so much for that.
Okay, Alicia has one of my favorite questions.
Yeah.
She says, Lauren, congrats on starting to tow. Thank you. True story. It has been one of the things that I have been like most proud of myself for in a really long time, which, I mean, sounds a little silly, but it was really intimidating. It felt like stepping out of my box and like really like accomplishing something to make it happen.
Well, you did. I mean, it's a huge deal. It's a huge undertaking.
I'm still working on it. Like Daniel and I were talking about, we've gotten so many comments about how awesome it would be to like go to an empty parking lot and do some like training as far as how to back her up and maybe some cones. And we still need to do that. And don't worry, we'll get that on video too, because Daniel will probably torture me and make it very difficult. And I'll probably roll over all the cones and it'll be comical. But from a standpoint of the first time, the biggest thing to me is I should have done it sooner. I feel like I was so intimidated by it that I kind of let myself get in my own head. And there are so many times it would have been so convenient if I had been able to tow the Airstream in advance. Because no matter like how you are RVing, being able to support your partner is really, really important. Oh, yay. Hold on. Pause. super chat.
Damn. Jared.
Thank you, Jared. You are awesome. We really appreciate all of the super chat. So for those of you guys who aren't familiar with super chat, it's actually a YouTube feature. So you can do them on Facebook that I know of. But you can jump on YouTube and you can give us a shout out. And if you want to make sure your question gets answered, that's a super easy way to do it because it gives us a notification, makes it all fancy, and we love that. So thank you, Jared. You are awesome.
Thank you, Jared. And if you have a question, drop it in the comments. Sometimes when it gets rolling, it's kind of hard to scroll through this. To be 100% honest with you, it's not that we're ignoring you. I promise. If you're leaving a comment, we're not getting to it. It's just because they're kind of feeding in from like Facebook and YouTube, and we're trying to get to all of them. I promise.
But Renata, hi from Florida. It's good to see you. And Mike and Debbie, hey guys. Let's see. Justine says, leaving Tuesday for the Alliance rally in Eckhart. Enjoy Ohio. That sounds so fun. Have a ball. Therese says, have you backed up yet? No, I have not gotten that brave. We're going to go do the thing in like an open parking lot and test my skills before I try it in a RV park. Because y'all know as well as I do, if you've ever RV'd in your entire life, basically watching people back up is a sport come Thursday, Friday night of teasing and making fun. And my poor little heart probably couldn't handle that. So I'm gonna work on it outside of an RV park before we start trying to do it.
I think we should probably start with some cones. Yeah. And then we should like create like a slalom course, and then I can have you like back up through the slalom course. So we'll make a video out of this. It should be like,
maybe I'll be really cool and try to parallel park the first time I back it up.
Yes. Okay. So inside joke, the first time we picked up the Airstream, I tried to parallel park it in front of her dad's townhouse in a spot that was exactly big enough for the Airstream and truck. And I cracked our tail light and I dented the rear fender on day one. So
that's real.
I have set the bar so low for you guys. If you dent your truck on day one, just know that it's already been done. Like there's nothing to worry about.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. If you break your awning in the first 2 weeks, don't worry about it. We did that too. You have nothing to worry about.
We have all sorts of skills.
There's no shame. We've done it.
Funny. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, Brandy, bye. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike Madden.
Yeah. So does it leak? So with the retract, it's retracts. It's a good point. It's a retracts,
That's the
retractable.
cover on the back of the truck.
And I freaking love it. It's not cheap. I think it was
it's like $1,000, I think.
A little bit more, but there's different types, right? So there's retracts, the regular retracts that's foldable, and I think they have like the sliding one. Ours has a track that you can mount some of the bike racks to, so that's why I bought that particular one, because we want to get bikes. We haven't gotten bikes yet, but that's why I did that. But there's like 2 hoses that you install in the canister where it retracts back to, and the 2 hoses run to underneath the truck bed. So it does occasionally get water in it, but we keep everything in the truck bed in containers, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put anything like super valuable just like laying down in there or anything.
Or they can't get wet.
Yeah. So it could still get wet underneath the cover, but there's a drainage. There's like literally 2 drainage tubes in the back. So
I learned something
that does
new.
help. Yeah.
Okay, so Bill, going
question.
back to the fact that we have not been in the Airstream for the last 2.5 weeks, which was so heartbreaking. Bill asked if we got it fully fixed. So yes, the only thing. So this is kind of actually pretty hilarious.
What are we still waiting on, Lauren? Yeah. I don't know what could have possibly gone wrong.
One of the things about RV travel is that when you move your home, it tends to be a little mild earthquake in the back of your house.
Yeah.
And as of recently, I don't really know why this has started happening, but for some reason our pantry keeps coming open when we travel, and it doesn't have a lock on it naturally.
Right. So it's kind of like it's not a spice rack, but it's like it just slides.
It's like a pull-out
pantry.
out.
It's a pull-out pantry, right? And it's very, very thin. There's 2 little like push-in knobs, but they don't do anything. They're just like, they serve no function. There's like little boop, boop, and they pop out, but they don't keep the thing closed, right? So literally mid-transit several times, it'll just, the track or the rack will just slide out while we're driving. And we'll come into the RV after we get someplace, And there's like one time it was an
Well, so-
olive jar
Okay,
that
now wait
cracked.
a second. That was the first time. Okay.
Olive jar?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. How about
And
this most recent
then-
time?
So
Wait. Let me frame this for you. The last time we were going to drop off the RV at Rocket RV, and the guy walks in to look at our RV, and what did he say?
it looked like a murder scene.
It looked like a murder scene, right? So legitimately, the rack came out and a pizza. No, it was hot sauce. It was hot. It was hot sauce, right? It was like a hot sauce murder scene.
It was
Literally,
pretty
like
bad.
all over the walls. I mean, legitimately,
It was everywhere.
It
And
was
it was hot,
everywhere.
hot sauce, like pepper hot sauce.
So it
So when you
smelled
walked
too.
in, it was like,
You
oh
were
my
like
god.
in the face with like hot sauce.
Oh,
right
hold on,
away.
Pause.
What?
Matt, what up?
Oh, wait,
hi,
hold on.
Light. Thank you for the super chat. You are awesome. Okay.
Oh, nice.
We did. We saw that. So
They did a big unveiling the other day in Airstream Tampa with a new Pottery Barn edition. Like,
and we saw that.
smoke
That
and-
was so cool.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Matt, we still have a deal when we come down to Tampa. I'm going to review the Wanderlocal Airstream because we have made some modifications and definitely would love you to review that one. And to the point with the actual like sliding rack there, Rocket RV was like, well, I can install like a locking mechanism. And he did. And if you have an Airstream with those slide out things, he literally installed like a latch and we just act like a push it in before we travel. And you're golden. Like you're
Yeah.
solid. It will not move.
It works
so-
great. So hopefully we won't have any more hot sauce murder scenes anytime soon.
Yeah, Matt, you can't. We've definitely done some modifications and probably more by the time we get down to Tampa. So I can't wait for you to see that.
Yep.
We've
Super
definitely-
real. It was a thing. So thank you, Matt. We appreciate you. We can't wait to do a collaboration with you. It's gonna be so much fun. Oh,
Oh.
Zephyr Hills was the hot sauce hotter than the hot chip.
Oh,
No. Thank the heavens.
Yes.
But you will not believe this. So we ship things to my mom's house when we're here in Nashville, which is awesome. But when we got to Nashville, we got a package and I was like, what is this, babe? And I opened it. There are 4
okay.
new hot chips that Daniel ordered. Like, he didn't even ask me about it.
No.
He just ordered them.
No, I feel like so I got absolutely slayed on the last one, right? I still resort back to the fact that I touched my nose, so that was really where it went sideways. It definitely wasn't because of the heat. So they literally just released a 2021 edition that is even hotter. It apparently has a Carolina Reaper and Scorpion Pepper to make the pain last even longer. I am definitely not interested in doing this at all. But
Really? Why did you get them then?
but we have some very fun things coming up where we're going to be raising money for the American Cancer Society. And I'm super excited about that. And it's definitely going to take something to get me to eat something like that. So that's what it's going to take to get me to eat one of those.
Maybe we're going to have like an auction for who will pay the most to watch Daniel be miserable
Or
and
maybe,
like, sponsor the video.
I don't even know. Yeah, or maybe like you'll be the sponsor of that entire episode, or your company or your brand, or we're not exactly sure yet, but I feel like I need to make up for the last one because that was embarrassing.
Apparently,
and
I need a victory lap.
I'm not a victory lap. I call it my comeback tour. That's what I call it. The follow-up to that hot chip video is my comeback tour.
Okay, if you say so.
Yes.
Okay, so Justine says hello from Florida. No, Juan says hello from Florida. Thank you for your videos. You guys are awesome. Ugh, Juan, thank
Matt,
you.
look at you. You're already dropping $100. Literally, that whole episode will be sponsored. We're gonna figure out something for this, but 100% of the funds will go to the American Cancer Society, not us at all. And you'll get like the tax write-off or whatever. Like we'll figure that all out, but that's gonna be fun. I'm excited about that.
So Justine says when you are in Ohio, you'll be near the Armstrong Air and Space Museum. We saw that last time we were up there and we didn't get the chance to go, so we're gonna have to check that out because we've heard it's really super cool.
Yeah. Oh, the airs. Oh, yeah. We did hear about that when we were up there.
Okay, so Kirk says the Airstream need to put a caution the cabinets open for like no reason.
Oh,
So freaking true.
yeah. Like Kirk, literally, it should be a big sticker that says, "Watch your butt." I was gonna say something else, but we don't curse anymore because we have a lot of children watching. But definitely. Yeah, there should be some caution tape on it because it
Bill-
just like slides out.
Yes, on Alaska 2023. So we got to learn a little bit more about how caravans work when we were at the rally, but only like this much. So we still need to get some, maybe we need like a team of people together who are going to help plan it.
Yeah,
so much fun.
100%. And I feel like 2022 is just slipping away every day now with everything that's going on.
Moly,
So,
isn't that the truth? Terry says, don't do it, guys. It's a trap. That's so freaking true. And Zephyr Hills, you are the best. Yes, Team Lauren.
dang it. Thought we were friends.
Alicia
I
says,
thought we
Lauren
were
has a
friends.
paper towel ready for this. That's freaking awesome.
I'm literally... No, literally.
Oh,
there.
that one's good. Bill says, I can't believe Lauren's going to eat both of those chips. That's probably the only way that Daniel would survive
I will literally... part of me wants to never even smell that chip again. But there's a lot. I will do a lot of things for charity. Like, a lot. So this is probably one of them.
True. Okay, so Mike asks, how's the marathon training going? Because that's the reason that we're going to be raising funds for the American Cancer Society. We are running the Chicago Marathon, and then Daniel's actually running the New York one. And apparently, as of today, maybe I am too.
Lauren is also signing up for the New York City Marathon as well.
We still got to iron out the details. It's not guaranteed yet. We're working with the American Cancer Society to make sure it's cool for me to jump on that bandwagon too. But we are like a month and a half out. We ran 10 miles this morning. And Nashville has some really beautiful running trails, which was awesome. So we're doing good. I feel like running. So since Daniel is just like getting back into the swing of things, he's running with me, which is usually not a thing because he is like such a good runner. He's the kind of weirdo that can like win a 5K and has won them before.
I have won 5K.
Not like in his age division, like the whole freaking thing. So like I can't run like that even remotely. But since he's just kind of getting back into it from our last series of marathons, he's been running with me and it's helping me get faster, which is so freaking awesome.
It is fun.
So like we ran 10 miles this morning and did it at like an 11:30 minute pace, which is like a big deal for me. And it's really fun. Yeah. So we're making progress, especially since we have like not nearly enough time until the Chicago Marathon.
No. But I think one of the most fun things about one thing I'm really excited about with the marathons is we're going to make it sort of interactive and obviously more details to follow. But so that just more details to follow.
Superheroes of Summer says, how about a Wanderlocal and Friends marathon team? I bet there would be some subscribers that would join. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Man, that would be incredible. I would love to do. I mean, how many people? Are there people here that run marathon? Are there people here that run 5Ks? Has anybody here run a 5K? Let's just start with that. Because I would definitely do something like that where we all got together and ran a 5K.
Oh yeah. Ooh, we could do. I wonder if there's a 5K going on at a Palooza, because that'd be super fun if people wanted to go do one. Yeah,
I mean, that would be so much fun. I feel like it may be harder to find people to run marathons because...
Tanya?
Okay, well, there's 5Ks. Yes, if you've run a 5K, let me know.
James, all the time. Love it.
Yeah, because that would be amazing. Yeah.
5 and 8Ks, awesome.
Okay, so
I'd do a half with y'all. Heck yeah!
That would be amazing.
That would be so fun.
Oh man, that would. So I can only remember.
Triathlon, too cool. Got it.
Yeah, that is triathlon is definitely on the books for 2023 at this point. I think next year I'm going to try to tackle an ultra. I haven't decided yet on the distance, but. Between 30 and 50 mile race.
That's like a whole nother level of crazy.
Yeah. Mike, how many donuts per mile? That was a bit.
Oh my goodness. If you guys have not seen, so Daniel is like, we just talked about it the other day. So with him running the Chicago Marathon and the New York City Marathon over the next couple months, it will be his number 9 and 10 marathons. So he's done this kind of a lot. So Chicago and New York will be 2 and 3 for me. But we have a whole series of 4 that we videoed last year when all of the races were virtual. And Daniel ran them. And one of them is in Ohio. And I think the video is called like Running for Donuts or something like that.
Something like that.
We're literally at like every couple of miles, Daniel eats a bunch of donuts, and by the end of it, you can imagine how that goes. So it's very,
you got to watch
very
that. Look, you
comical.
definitely, there's something called the Donut Trail, and it's in Ohio.
Yeah.
And it's
like Southern Ohio.
It's like 13 donut shops, and Lauren
They're all local.
They're all locally owned, and Lauren thought it would be so much fun to run from donut shop to donut shop while running a marathon.
It was dangerous, to be honest with you.
I am shocked that I did not die from sugar overdose because we ate a donut at every single shop. We covered the entire donut trail
It was a lot
within
of
a 24-hour period. So
and we
drove
don't really
to, then we
eat that
ran.
much sugar normally.
No. I mean,
Champagne is typically the most sugar that we intake.
That was a good one. So I ended up running 4 marathons in 6 weeks.
Tanya said make sure that when we do it that they're virtual too, because they're going to be overseas. That's a really good point. Okay, banking that one.
I love that idea. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Okay, so Superheroes of Summer, Squamish 50 Ultra in British Columbia. Nice.
Oh, Alicia said, what about doing a paid get-together to raise funds? That would be fun, too. We should totally do that.
Yeah.
Okay, good call. Actually, if y'all have ideas about how we should be raising funds that y'all would, like, get behind and help us do, please leave those in the comments because we are all ears on ideas.
100%. Yeah, so the backstory is the reason I was signed up for so many marathons last year is that I was trying to raise money for the American Cancer Society. It was technically my 20th year being cancer-free. So that was a very huge milestone for me.
Well, I think you should probably fill them in. If they haven't seen that video, they might not know your story with cancer.
Yeah. So 20 years ago, at a very, very young age, I was diagnosed with cancer, with colon cancer. And gosh, it's very hard for me to even talk about, but that's...
It was before I knew Daniel, so he was 21 at the time. Exactly.
And I had a lot of surgeries, and it was a very challenging time of my life. It's changed my perspective on life in general. I tend to live more in the moment and appreciate the people around me more than I ever did before. So from that aspect, it has been
a blessing.
But for the 20th year, I was trying to raise a bunch of funds for American Cancer Society. Unfortunately, everything got scratched last year and because of COVID. So that was unfortunate. So we're going to do some stuff this year, and that's how I'm kind of like do a part to give back.
Yeah, and we're excited about it. It's going to be awesome.
And raise awareness.
Okay, Ellison asks a question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite place you have gone to yet? In the Airstream?
Ooh, man, in the Airstream. Oh gosh,
I really, really loved Big Sur. I can't wait for us to go back. I want to actually camp in Big Sur because it was so beautiful. But it's so hard to pick a favorite.
Yeah.
Joshua Tree.
Man.
Austin, Texas.
There were so many places.
Michigan. Okay, all of them.
It's really it's hard because like every place is different. You know, it's like when
it depends on what you're looking for like the moment.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things that we've come to appreciate about traveling in the U.S. because up until the time we had jumped in an RV, we'd just traveled the entire world. So we would go to like, Switzerland and see the Swiss Alps, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful mountain range we've ever seen, and things like the Sahara Desert. We're like, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful thing we've seen. We didn't realize how many different what would you call them? Environments, but it definitely feels like you're in different countries when you're traveling in the U.S. because there are places here that are just mind blowing in the U.S. And I think that goes for probably most countries. They're just we don't always explore our own countries, and there are so many like hidden gems that we just haven't been to yet.
Well, speaking of hidden gems, we launched a video this evening actually from our experience in Wichita, Kansas. And to be straight with y'all, we had like almost no expectations for Wichita, Kansas. I mean, like, what on earth is even there? And we showed up, low expectations, and it blew our mind, and we cannot wait to go back. So, I think that's probably the coolest thing about traveling the way we are now is that there are places like we never would have said, hey, let's go on a weekend trip to Wichita. but it was on our route. And so because we got to experience it, we're like, we've been telling everybody and their mom, like, they have the coolest zoo we have ever been to, ever. And we have been to zoos all over the world in Wichita, Kansas. Like, how is that even possible? We don't know, but it is so much fun.
If you have kids, it's a no. Not even if you have kids. Like, really, if you just want to go.
If you love animals, we got to pet kangaroos. I got to feed a pygmy hippo. An otter sat in our laps. Like, we got to play with the lemurs, and they like jumped all over your shoulders, and you fed them cranberries. It was so freaking fun.
Yeah, we couldn't film the lemurs, but they were just like crawling all over us. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They were just so friendly.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a couple questions.
The otters are, man. They're sneaky.
So, Roseback says, I can't afford to buy an Airstream. What should I do? Get out there in ways that you can. I think Airstreams are wonderful and they're beautiful. But like you said, they are kind of pricey. We worked our butts off for 10 years building our business to be able to afford to live the way that we do.
And we were fortunate in that we had a company that grew.
And did well. But just because an Airstream is fun doesn't mean it's the only way to get out and explore. At the end of the day, it's all about finding new experiences, whether that's even, just in your backyard. It doesn't even necessarily have to be traveling.
I literally have a perfect example of how you can still travel. We have a friend William, and he runs races all over the country. He has a Honda Element, and he threw an air mattress in the back, and he is just like, come Friday, he is gone. Like, he's like going from Florida to Tennessee to South Carolina, all over, and he's just like, he just makes it work. So
you can really make any kind of lifestyle work as long as you're willing to make the sacrifices to make it happen.
Yeah.
We met the sweetest girl the other day in Nashville, and she's living out of her car on purpose. She left California and her family and wanted to just get out on the road, and that's how she's doing it, and it works, and she's really, really enjoying it. So just kind of depends on.
Somebody asked us a pretty good question in a comment the other day, like, why do we encourage people to wander within their own communities when we're traveling? It's because we have been to places and we've posted videos, and people that live in those cities didn't even know some of those places existed. Now, I'll give you a perfect example of that. The Hawk Walk or the Falconry Tour, right? We had so many people comment from that area that had no idea something like that, a small business like that existed.
Yeah.
And that's why it's also important to get out there and explore your own community as well.
Yeah.
Just because you can't go to other communities and travel the globe, it doesn't mean you can't get out there and explore.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's so many local restaurants even within your own community that are just
got to take the time to look for them and get out there.
Yeah. 100%.
But like Chris Reed says, you can get a good quality RV for $50K. So there are definitely ways, like if you're not into the car thing, you want to do the RV, like there are other great options that when we were at Rocket RV, they're creating a brand new it's a type of RV.
It's a prototype.
I think it's freaking cool, but they're planning on selling that thing for around 40 or 50K, and it was legit.
That's that version. They have actually another version that's even less. It's like 20, 25K.
So you don't have to spend huge amounts of money to get into the RV game.
It's a prototype that they're literally engineering right there on site. It's like an all-terrain RV. I mean, it's outfitted with, it's bulletproof, but it's not. It looks like something you'd want in the apocalypse.
Yeah, it looks epic.
Like, it's pretty amazing. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, Mike Madden, are the Wanderlocal trucker hats in stock?
Yes. Okay.
Hold on. Wait a second. Pause. Thank you, PVC.
2112.
Appreciate you. And look, he says, call me in. My mother had colon and rectal cancer. Cancer affects so many people and so many families, and it's heartbreaking. So we're excited to do just a teeny tiny bit that we can to get the word out there and raise some funds for cancer research.
100%. Yeah, it's
sending you guys all the love.
Yeah, it's.
But
really excited about that.
Yes, are the trucker hats in stock? Absolutely. Daniel figured that out the other day. He was really proud of himself. Well,
they were out of stock we sold out of those hats, and I was wearing them in almost all the videos I wear. That's my go-to hat. It's just super comfortable. So
yeah, that's true.
But then they sold out, and it took me a while to source another company to have them made. So that finally happened, and now they're starting to sell again, which is awesome. Yeah. So if you guys have like products you want, or
Message us.
We've got
let us know.
yeah, message us.
We
Yeah,
like
and we've got
making them. It's
some
very fun.
we've got some
Oh,
new
look,
products launching
Tanya
soon
says,
too.
"Love you guys. I
Yeah.
love wearing your shirt, especially when we do Harvest Host. Whoop whoop!
That's so
love
awesome.
that."
That means the world to us. You're doing that, really. And the Harvest Host. I mean, what a fun way to travel locally and meet some really, really genuinely cool people.
Truth.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Zephyr Hill says, "Lauren, I'm in their video this week. Are y'all finally publishing content from the Airstream rally? We can't wait to see it. That'll be so fun."
That's awesome. So we'll be checking out that video.
So if you guys haven't
Yeah.
seen Zephyr Hills,
Zephyr
or I'm sorry,
Travels.
Zephyr Travels. I keep saying that because we're from
Florida.
Florida.
Florida has Zephyr Hills, but Zephyr Travels, yeah.
If you haven't seen Zephyr Travels channel, they also travel in an Airstream, and
Mhm.
they are the most wonderful people, and they do all sorts of fun stuff too. So if you haven't checked out their channel, make sure you do that.
And we did a talk with them at the Airstream rally together with, Rich and Cindy as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yep. Okay, Rustic
Yeah.
Alaskans, you are awesome. Just watched your Wichita video and shared it on Facebook. I loved it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Daniel and I, when we were watching it before it, of course, went live today, we were like, this video is like maybe one of our favorites. It's so much fun. And that baby snow leopard, can we have a moment about the fact that they had a baby snow leopard?
So a baby snow leopards
So
are rare
cute. I
in
wanted
general,
to
but a
die.
baby, it was
like
a few weeks old. It was a few
oh
weeks
my
old.
God, so cute.
Yeah. Rustic Alaskans, we talked the other day. Definitely need all the advice when we're planning this Alaska caravan. So
Truth.
We're gonna need you.
Hi, Jeff. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Tanya says we definitely support all the local wineries and breweries in our area when we're home. Legit, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Tony Strait says, "Hey guys, how are you? We missed you." What I missed.
What did you
LOL.
miss?
So you missed that we're still in Nashville. We were supposed to be flying out to New York tonight, but unfortunately,
there's apparently there's a storm
There's a hurricane
in
coming.
New York. Yeah, I think
So,
it's there. It's
Apparently, flying through a hurricane is not advised. So Southwest canceled our flights.
Delta canceled. Everybody canceled. So
that's why we get to hang out with y'all tonight. We're super excited about it.
Yeah.
So we're drinking champagne to celebrate the fact that we are back in the Airstream after 2.5 weeks. Our AC is working. It's nice and cool in here. So
we're drinking some Texas champagne from Fredericksburg.
It's a pretty good Sunday night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we're behind on the comments. Let's see what we can do here.
Local wineries and breweries, 100%. Bill, 9,000 subscribers this week. We're close to that. I think we're
getting
we
close.
paid attention. 9,000 subscribers.
9,000.
After 9 is the Big 10. That's pretty.
Which we're gonna have to do something crazy fun for. I don't know what we're gonna do, but it's gonna be great.
Definitely not cut off my hair, but something. It'll have to be like.
Why not? That's kind of a good idea.
No.
I bet I could get us to 10,000 subscribers pretty quickly.
It's not worth it to me.
If like
no. It would have to be something else.
Daniel's been telling me that apparently the mullet is like a cool like if you run like you're a cool kid with a mullet. And so today when we were running 10 miles in Nashville, we were at the Nashville Greenway, which is beautiful by the way. And there were a bunch of guys out there running, and sure enough, they had
some
mullets.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to blame them. It's a damn good looking cut, you know.
Oh, Superheroes of Summer says mullet to mohawk for 10K. I mean, I feel like that'd just be hilarious. Even I think that would be funny.
For $10,000, I would.
No, he's saying 10,000 subscribers.
Oh no, that's no $10,000 is what it would take to cut the mullet. There's no way. You kidding me? This is a work in progress. It's a mullet in progress. It takes.
I feel like it's getting
Chris Reed.
there at that point.
Cheers, my friend. And Chris, couch a 5K, couch a marathon, whatever it is that you want to do, I support you. We're talking to somebody just recently that is getting ready to run their first marathon, and I'm like, we'll fly there and run it with you. I mean, I want to encourage people to just be healthier and live healthier lifestyles, honestly. And when you've had the health experience that I've had, definitely be healthy.
It's an important thing, taking care of
It
yourself.
is. Yeah.
real.
Mohawk. Oh my gosh, a lot of Mohawk love here.
You have perfect hair for a mohawk. Although, I mean, what's great about this haircut is like, although at this point, I guess the cat's out of the bag that you're a little nuts. Like most people, even that we work with, now know that we're kind of crazy. But
true.
A mohawk would make you look like you'd really lost your marbles.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I feel like we used to do so many meetings in person, and when we all went remote, we were all like living in sweatpants. I mean, let's be honest here, right? If you had to take a Zoom call, you're probably wearing a dress shirt and maybe just some boxers. I mean, that's the way life was during the pandemic and still is, right? So when we went remote, we just let it go, and we just happened to have a YouTube channel, and I was like,
speak for yourself when we just let it go. Like, no.
I'm like, I'm just gonna let my craziness fly. I mean, I feel like everybody's got used to like seeing each other.
Yeah.
In their natural habitat when you're on Zoom calls and video calls.
So your natural habitat is a mullet?
And that, yeah, it's 50 Shades of Crazy. So
such a dork. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a reverse mohawk is.
I don't know either.
Okay, so let's see. Still, I wish you had a 33-foot trailer. More room, more fun. Sure, you're a pro to drive it around. Oh, we would have no trouble. Daniel can pretty much back up our 30-foot Airstream with his eyes closed at this point.
Up a hill. I could probably back it up through a slalom course up a hill at this point. Yeah.
But, we really love the 30-foot, and now that we know what we know, I don't think we would ever get the 33, just because, like, the whole back end is the bathroom, and we don't really spend a lot of time in the bathroom, and neither do we really spend a whole lot of time in our bedroom, which is the front of the 33. And so it would basically be wasting all of the window space in the two like core places where we have our best views.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I don't think it would really make sense for us, but we're normal height people. So if we were like 6'4", then the 33 would be like an absolute requirement, because otherwise you wouldn't fit in our shower. I don't think.
Right. So Bill Utah, who is like 7 feet tall, basically, the 33 might be a good fit.
But
Definitely.
I mean, he was able to stand up really comfortably in our Airstream.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
he was.
For the shower, that would be a real thing.
It would, but you have campground showers too. So a lot of people just don't even use the shower in the Airstream and just go use a campground shower.
That's probably something that we didn't realize when we first started this life. So neither Daniel and I had done any type of camping. So we'd never really stayed at campgrounds. And so immediately our thought about like campground showers is that has to be like the grossest thing we've ever heard of in our entire lives. And
you know what?
Now we use them all the time.
RV life will
totally
change
normal.
you. RV life will definitely change you. Like the things you thought were gross before, they're just normal. I mean, like you're like, non-RV life, okay, yeah, I shower every single day, right? It's just like habit. Some people shower like twice a day. RV life, did I shower this week? I don't know. Like
no, well, we're doing
what day
better.
did I shower on?
We're doing better showering recently because it's summer.
That's true.
And our water gets hot faster, so we shower more often. I think I shower almost daily lately, but it also helps that we run almost daily, and then I kind of have to shower after that because it's kind of gross.
That's so true. Ben, yes, my first reaction.
Hello, Ben. How are you? Oh my goodness, thanks for joining.
Ben runs the Airstream Classic group on Facebook, so if you have a Classic, definitely go check that out and join that group. Awesome group.
Totally.
Yes.
They've saved our butts like 100 million times.
Yeah. And what is a Mo Mullet? It's a mohawk, not as thin, going into a mullet. Okay. Okay.
So
I've seen,
he just needs to get rid of like this strip.
So I've seen like soccer players wearing them. Is that what a Mo Mullet is, Juan? I'm guessing that's what it is, right? Like Cristiano Ronaldo had something like that, I think. So you let me know, Juan.
Phil, that comment's hilarious. That's why we traded our 23 front bed for a 27-foot front bed. The best view from the 23 was when you were sitting on the can. Yeah, that's not the ideal best view, because hopefully you're not spending a whole lot of time there.
No, definitely not. Like the two best views here are in the bedroom, which is in the back, rear bed. And then in the front here, obviously where we're sitting is we're just surrounded by windows.
And I mean, this is the place where we spend most of our time, whether it's sitting at the table, working, since we still work full time, or like cooking or watching. Like we use this space more. We spend more time here than anywhere else, and we love that it's like got all the. If we were in the 33 foot, we wouldn't even be able to see out these front series of windows. Like it would just be our bedroom. That would be really sad.
That's true. Yeah. So you got the bedroom and the bathroom in the 33, I think, right?
On both ends.
No. Yeah. So I guess you spend all your time in the middle of the Airstream. I don't know. Yeah, we don't have a 33. They're trying some different configurations. I know maybe if you're following some of the Airstream stuff, they have like lowering, rising desk.
That was really cool. We saw that at the Airstream rally. I think that was in a 26.
Yeah, some of the Flying Clouds have pretty cool Flying Cloud. They have like the wraparound couch, which is pretty cool. So if you're like entertaining a big group of people,
yeah, that's great.
That wraparound couch would be clutch. Definitely. Let's see here. So Juan, exactly. So CR7 Ronaldo, that's what that is. Okay. that was actually, that's some good inspiration right there.
Just what we need. More
Mo Mullet
inspiration for the ridiculous hair.
What's better than mullet? Mo Mullet.
I feel like that's not true. I feel like I need a little bit of support on somebody agree with me that is not true.
The original Paramutant sweet mustache. It is coming in, right? Like, I've got the beard going. That's only so Lauren will, sleep next to me, because if I cut this off and just leave the mustache, she's going to want to make me sleep outside in the tent. Like, true story.
And we don't even have a tent, so that would be even less ideal.
I know. She hates the mustache so much. So that's why I have a beard. Mustache maybe coming soon. I don't know.
Okay, Drone's Eye View, first, welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. So he says, what made us choose the Airstream over other brands? And do you feel that you get what you pay for? If you had to do it again, would you choose our Airstream? So how did we choose Airstream?
First off, when I was growing up and I saw an Airstream driving down the road, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. I'm like, what is that like spaceship driving down the road? Because it's like super shiny and silver and different, right?
And so because our whole mission is around local, we wanted to make sure that whatever type of RV that we chose was going to be as American made as possible.
And there are a lot of other American made brands.
Totally.
Well. Yeah.
But when we started looking into them, we found that, the resale value of the Airstream was supposed to be higher. And it was a big selling point for us that, about, I think, what's the percentage? Like 75-80% of them are still on the road today that have been built. So that was a big sell, because we knew that a lot of RVs after, 5 or 10 years, they basically aren't worth much.
Yeah.
And then we started looking at Airstreams and just fell in love with them.
Right. So, I mean, it's all in, honestly, again, it goes back to whatever it is that you need to do to get out there and explore.
Yeah.
Like, so a dealer explained to us that doesn't sell Airstreams. He's like, well, you can buy three $40,000 RVs for the price of one Airstream, and he's like, somebody said, well, they don't last as long. He goes, well, you have like 3 times as long with an RV that's only $40,000, right? So if it like lasts you 10 years and you get rid of it and you get another new one, so some different logic that we've heard from other people. I mean, I think it's just a personal choice, honestly. Yeah.
But we love our Airstream. Do we think it was worth it? Absolutely. I mean, especially after we just got her back. So we picked up our Airstream in January. December 31st, I think, technically. And we've been on the road full time. We've done over 25,000 miles with her, up and down mountains and everything in between.
Oh, man. Dirt roads, dead ends. Like
all sorts of craziness.
Boondocking in Sedona, like through some rough roads. So the fact that we haven't had more stuff break. I mean, granted, we've had little things break, but
I mean, so our AC unit had some like
the bolt came loose.
Yeah, bolts that came loose.
25,000 miles later, the fan bolt or whatever holds.
And we had a little leak and a couple little other things. The stove needed some tweaking and all that kind of stuff. And they warranty their stuff, so everything was covered. They fixed everything, and we walked away with a $0 bill. Less like a couple of things that we bought at the RV shop. So
that's true.
From that standpoint, has it been worth it? We'd say absolutely at this point. It's not perfect. No RV is going to be, but we really, really love our Airstream.
Yeah. So Rachel, you're saying they retain their value. You're trading in your 2018 for what you paid for it. Yeah.
So it's like we had it free for 5 seasons. So
that's pretty cool too.
And I mean, the reality is the market right now for Airstreams is crazy high.
And probably all RVs, but
it's worse than I think it ever has been, though.
In the RV space, ever. Yeah, and Airstream is reducing their production by 15%, so they can probably catch up to their backlog, maintain quality, which I think is very, very important. Yeah.
So that's kind of our high-level overview of why we chose the Airstream and what we like about it, and that we do think it's worth it at this point.
Right. So Phil, the refrigerator door handles suck. I don't even know if they're so like they were using Dometic for a lot of this stuff. Now they're using a different manufacturer, maybe a blend. I think all RV manufacturers are probably doing something like that in these days, because they're just having trouble with supply chains.
Yeah, that's every industry right now.
Oh man, like trucks. Try to get a truck, like so. It's every single industry. Yeah. But I mean, that's.
So let's see.
Yeah, Bill, you're saying if you sold yours today, you would make 10K on your Grand Design. I have no doubt. The question becomes, right? What can you buy after you sell it? So you can make money, but then what do you do, right? And that's what we've heard about trucks as well. Like we've had offers to buy our truck back for more than what we paid. My cousin just sold her F-250 back to the dealership, and they gave her like $7,500 or 10K on top of it. So,
and she actually got another truck.
She
got a new one.
Yeah, they were looking to increase their used inventory. I'm not exactly sure how all that works with dealerships, but
yeah, I don't know.
They needed some used inventory. Let's see here. What RV? So, Alicia, Hibbs, what RV YouTubers do you guys watch?
So obviously we watch the same ones y'all do. We love Long Long Honeymoon and Find Your Daydream. Traveling Robert. Oh my gosh, well, I love his voice.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
And I love the song that he sings.
I love the song. His own intro song.
Daniel and I keep talking about the fact that we need to create our own song and sing it so we can be like a micro bit as cool as him.
Except Lauren can actually sing, so my voice would sound horrendous. And maybe that's like the catch, like an intro song that just sounds absolutely horrendous because my voice would totally suck.
Good night, Zephyr Travels. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah. Love Traveling Robert.
We love Traveling Robert.
He just seems like a cool dude, like super chill.
Yep, totally.
You just want to sit around a campfire.
What are some of the other ones that we watch? We honestly haven't had a whole lot of time to watch YouTube lately because we've been really busy between work and going to see Daniel's family and all sorts of other fun stuff.
Alicia, nothing but love. Nothing but love. Keep your daydream. Thank you so much. We're better.
Do we watch less junk, more journey?
Yep.
Yes, we like them a lot. I mean, we are hardcore believers in having less junk and more experiences.
Yeah.
So we're all about their channel.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely do watch all the other RVers, especially those that have been doing it for like 10 years, They've been at the grind for 10 years, and they're like the OGs. Like, they started back when RVers were just getting on YouTube. True. So a lot of respect for all those people.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Being upstairs. Oh, yeah. Have a good night, Ben. Okay. Traveling Robert reminds me of Cheech. Some like Cheech and Chong. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. We're going way back for that one.
Okay, Drone's Eye View says, we are totally in love with Airstream. We're super stoked to order one in the future. Maybe there's a 100th anniversary model and our name on it. I love that. You've definitely shown us that we can do this too. That's the biggest thing. Anybody, if we can do this, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're smart people. But if we can figure out the RV life, anybody can.
Oh man, I mean, look at us. Like we've shown you what can go wrong. So if you're like thinking about getting started with this RV life, things will go wrong. You'll figure it out.
Oh,
it's part of the journey. I mean, we've got a lot of people on here that are literally experts. I mean, I see you guys' names in these lists, and you guys are like real RV experts, So, yeah, I mean, things are going to happen. You're probably going to break your awning unless somebody tells you, don't put out your damn awning when it's like storming, or don't leave it out when you leave. Don't leave it out when you leave.
That's like a really good life rule.
They're like little lessons you're going to have to learn potentially the hard way, but it's still worth it at the end of the day. because you're getting to see and do things that most people would never be able to see and do, and you're creating experiences that you'll have for the rest of your life. And I think that's probably, like, you'll always look back at the time you spent in an RV and traveling, and you'll never regret any of it. I mean, it's just part of life's journey.
And I mean, we don't think that RV life is for everybody.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong. Like, RV life doesn't solve big life problems. Like, it's not going to miraculously make everything in your life good, or like sunshine and rainbows and unicorns 24/7.
Yeah.
But we've loved the challenge of it. And of course, we get to take our little home everywhere we want and like wake up new places, and it's wonderful and amazing.
Bill has actually met Traveling Robert in person, and he met another really cool couple in person. I hear they're like super cool.
Oh yeah, super cool.
Right, Bill? Like the other couple you met, super cool, right?
You're such a dork. Bill, we love you and Olivia.
Yeah, honestly. We love meeting you guys in person too. I mean, we're just this silly in person. This is not like any sort of act. I mean, that's probably one of the best things about these live streams. You guys get to see how we really are, even off camera. I mean, we're the same, I think. I mean, I don't know, we're just super silly and quirky and
although
nerdy.
I feel like you haven't dropped any like really solid dad jokes tonight.
I have not. I have not.
And you're kind of good at that.
I know. I typically do. Do a good job with that, you know? And yeah, and the damn jokes, and we were just in Kansas. Like, that was a good one. I didn't leave any, like, we're not in Kansas anymore. Like,
I know, that was
didn't drop that nugget. I was
opportunity.
really missed out on that one.
Okay, no dress rehearsal says, did we see the new desk in the flying cloud? We had the 27-foot on order, but been delayed until November. That makes sense. Yes, we did. They had it at the Airstream rally. That thing is freaking cool. I would love to have that desk in our RV.
Well, I think the best part about it is that it's facing a window.
Yeah.
So, like, you can literally, like, put it right in front of the window.
Because that Airstream that has the, like office in the back,
right.
The one thing that I have a gripe about that is the fact that it's got this, like, teeny tiny little port-style window, and that is not how I want to work. Like, I need light. I need, like, I mean, not like on my computer screen, that wouldn't work, but like, I hate that layout for that particular reason. There's not enough windows back there.
That's true.
But with this layout, with it's like a good sized desk.
It is. Yeah.
Maybe like 4 feet across, and you just press the button and it goes straight up, and then it comes back down. So it's still functional space when you're not using it as a standing desk. I would love a standing desk.
I would say 100% if you have that on order, get one of those things that you can put on the floor for your chair.
Oh yeah,
because your chair will like probably scratch up the surface, the floor.
Well, or a standing mat.
Or standing mat, yeah. So put something underneath, yeah, standing mat, or if you're gonna have like an office chair, definitely get something for the floor to protect the floor, because I can definitely see like an office chair like scraping and just destroying the floor. So simple fix, not a big deal, and it may even come with one. I don't know.
Audrey, welcome. We're glad that you joined our channel and are hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Phil says we've been RVing for just over 2 years, but found that most RVers are helpful and friendly.
My gosh.
That is the truth. So Daniel and I are the kind of people, we love making friends just in general.
Right.
We're people, and like the more friends that we make, like the happier we are. So since when with traveling, we've always made friends all over the world. And I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. Like, campers are some of the nicest, most genuine, kind people.
The real deal.
Like, which is so nice, and it's really refreshing, especially in a day and age where, like, you know, everybody is obsessed with Instagram and filters and like all of the dumb what. Yeah. And it's just like a really, really genuine community, and we freaking love that.
Some of my best memories are probably off camera when we're just hanging around a campfire like we did in Sedona, and just getting to hang out with some people that we just recently met. And that is just like the coolest thing ever. And everybody, you know, people have their kids running around, and just everybody's, you know, it's just fun, you know? It's like a cool moment.
Truth.
Yeah.
Okay, drone's eye view. Did you guys figure out what tow vehicle you need before ordering your Classic?
So the real, I'm being 100% honest with you. Yes, we have an F-250. The real deal is that we were probably like most new RVers. We were like, I don't want an F-250. I hate trucks. We were those people too, right? I was like, maybe I can tow it.
I wanted us to tow our Airstream with my Mercedes SUV.
Yeah, no, it was that was, and then I was like, well, we need something with a little more tow capacity or whatever, you know.
I told them that at the dealership the first time we were looking. I'm pretty sure they thought that I was like the dumbest person who'd ever walked into the dealership.
Well, Airstream of Tampa, she was so nice.
She was so nice.
Yeah.
She wasn't rude about it, but she's like,
maybe a truck. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work.
Because
Very
we
nice.
went and shot, which is hilarious. So Daniel showed me these on YouTube, of course, because where else do you start shopping for an RV other than YouTube? And so when we were looking at them, first he like showed me the Flying Cloud, and he was like, "This one's really cool." And I like.
Well, I started showing you like the base camp. You know, I was like, "Base camp's good. It's like 16 feet. I can tow this and back it up, no problem." Like. That's where we're at.
But like the problem with YouTube is suggested videos, right? Because it's like, show you the next thing that you need to see.
Yeah.
And of course, when it showed the classic, I was like, oh wait. Oh, no. It wasn't even the classic. It was the international, right? And it was a 30-foot international.
It was, which is also nice.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like, we need the 30-foot international. I freaking love this unit. Like, it's so awesome.
And I'm like, it's so big. I don't want to tow that big thing. Like, we will crash because I don't know how to tow something that big, you know?
So we go to the dealership, and I'm already sold on the 30-foot international. That is what we are getting. And we were just looking through all of the units, and I'm like, well, wait a second. I've seen all the ones we've seen on YouTube, but what is that? And sure enough, it's a classic. And we walk in, and I'm like, sold.
No, I knew it was.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew exactly where she was bringing us. I'm like, and it was at Airstream table. I'm like, damn you!
Don't show her.
Damn you for showing her this. Like, don't tell her about this because I knew what it was going into the dealership.
True.
I'm like, damn you! And Lauren was like, no, we're looking at this one. I just want to see what it looks like. And she walked in and she's like, done. I was like, shit. Now I have to figure out how to tow something 30 feet long. Well, I didn't even want to tow the 30-foot international.
Yeah. That was our Airstream shopping experience. We really should have videoed that. It would have been funny, but we hadn't realized that we were going to actually do this yet.
That's so true. Gosh, what was your favorite RV park? So
hold on. Bye, Alicia. Thanks for joining us.
Definitely. Alicia, what was your favorite RV park? We actually we shot a video just recently of our top 10 RV parks, and that's it. So watch the top 10 video.
But that does not cover all of the videos from like the last month and a half. So we have some favorites from those too. So we stayed in an epic park in Park City, Utah, which was absolutely beautiful. That we loved.
That was cool.
And then when we were in Malibu, California, holy moly, the views on that place were absolutely beautiful. It's just Malibu RV Park. That's in our Malibu video.
It was pricey though. That's the downside. But it was
so pretty. It was worth it. Hands down, no question, worth it. And we even stayed in one of the further back sites. And during the week, we had a completely clear view of the ocean. So we didn't think about the fact that during the weekend that it would be completely packed and then we couldn't see anything. So that kind of sucked. But that place was so pretty. And then we also stayed.
Well, obviously, the KOA in Denver was
absolutely epic.
You know, like honestly, we shot that video, and when we learned that. And we've heard from some of you guys that KOAs can be locally owned. And I get it. They're like franchise and stuff. But like there's an entire family and extended friends of family. And it's really cool to know that about some of the KOAs. We had literally like blacklisted them for almost a year because we were like, oh, they're corporate and we're not into any of that stuff.
Uh-oh. Public announcement. Lauren and Daniel are not putting on an act. Oh, there is genuine as they come. We're glad to have met them and spent quality. Bill, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
And of course, thank you for the super chat. We always appreciate those too.
Yeah, we got to have lunch with Bill and his wife, Olivia, and they're just
technically dinner.
Well, technically dinner. Yeah. And Mexican restaurant, and that
with
was
hot sauce, which is very yummy.
Yeah, and they're awesome people.
We appreciate you guys and your friendship.
Yeah.
I think that's our favorite part about this whole channel thing. I don't think we ever imagined how many like genuinely wonderful, amazing people that we would meet that we would never have gotten to meet if we didn't start doing these YouTube videos.
It's been like, I feel like we've made so many friends for life on this journey, and it's just been awesome, honestly.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I mean, genuinely making some really good connections and cool connections with you guys, and it's one of the best things about this whole thing.
Phil, I agree with that. He said RVers in America remind me of the people who stay in hostels in Europe and Asia. I agree with that wholeheartedly. We've only done maybe
Yeah.
like 1 or 2 hostels. I'm not a very hostile person. Daniel, like, I don't know.
I would say I'd
Daniel
sleep
would do
on
it
the
all day, every
floor
day.
in a
It makes
public
me
park.
nervous. But
Well, I mean, I think it's different as probably as a female.
yeah. But I agree with that. We've met some really, really cool people when we've stayed in hostels and other types of hotels.
Yeah.
Like similar to those or whatnot.
100%. Back in yeah. So Phil, actually, I've heard that as well. I've never towed something smaller than 30 foot now, but I could see how if you have something longer, it's easier probably to like. You can see the butt when you're starting to back up a little bit. I don't really know what the. Yeah, that's. I don't know where I was going with that.
You're a dork. Ignore this says, wee! That sounds fun. And Renata, love you guys.
Fun comment.
The feeling is mutual.
Yeah.
Oh,
What else do we
and I
have
love
here?
this. Therese says, I never thought I could RV, but it's possible for everyone, even those with physical boundaries like me being in a wheelchair. So we got the pleasure of
Wow.
meeting Therese at the Airstream Rally, and
International
she's
Rally.
an absolutely amazing, wonderful human being. And even though she is in her wheelchair, she lives full time in her Airstream, which is so freaking cool. And she's so right. Like, no matter what your holdup may be, if you want to figure it out, you totally can. And I freaking love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Paralympics are happening or just happened. I mean, there are just some amazing and inspiring stories.
So true.
Yeah. I mean, people who took their disabilities and just overcame them and accomplished some amazing things. In life.
Truth.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. So, okay. So a couple of things I wanted to bring up. We got a couple of comments about some crappy audio. So we had an audio mic going bad. So if you hear like, it's because we had to use like the camera mic, and I'm sorry, we got a new mic.
We got a new camera.
just
Because
wanted
that's not exactly how it happened. So our camera's audio port went out.
It did.
And so we didn't realize it until we were shooting the video where we were in Denver. It started in Big Sur. It was a whole thing. And getting a hold of a new camera right now, like getting a hold of anything in manufacturing was kind of a thing. Oh, look. Phil, shout out.
Bam! Phil! Oh, man. Phil, dude. I can see your haircut on that. Everybody can.
That's pretty amazing.
Phil, that is epic. I'm looking at your profile pic there. That is amazing. Wow. Everybody check out Phil's haircut. That is amazing. Is that what I need to do? Because I have a lot of people recommending that right now.
I mean, you're never going to look as cool as Phil.
It gets out of the whack. So short wheelbase. Yeah, more sensitive, gets out of whack. That makes sense. If you have something like very, very short, you see it on boat ramps like all the time. There are like a million videos on YouTube. People trying to back up into boat ramps, and that is just...
That's a real thing.
Woo!
Okay,
can be a disaster.
Street News Now says, I'm thinking of buying the Classic. Did you look at that model? That's what we're in now. This is our house.
Welcome to the Classic.
We live in a 2021 30-foot Airstream Classic.
Yep.
And we did the full bed in the back. We love it. There's also like a twin bed model. Yep. A lot of people really like that because it has a little bit more storage. But we absolutely freaking love our Classic.
Yeah, we do.
Hi, Juan. Thanks for coming to hang out.
Retired Life Ollie Style. Have a wonderful night.
Oh, and Aaron says it's rare to find someone who can rock a mullet.
A mohawk. That says mohawk.
Oh, right. That's true too.
But I feel like both. Probably mohawk and mullet.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of mullet rockage lately. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
And some of them aren't that bad.
Yeah.
Like in our video.
Phil's rocking a mohawk and it looks pretty badass.
I know. His looks great. But then we also went to that coffee shop and when you got your mullet haircut, and that guy had a pretty good mullet.
He did. Yeah. So Chris Reed, can a 6'4" person fit in the shower? That is a Bill, Utah question. So Bill, if you were on here, you got to see our Airstream firsthand. I would say
it would be a stretch.
I'm 5'10", so I have no context. Bill, what do you think about the 6'4" fitting in the shower? He's gonna have the best context.
I feel like if you got the 33-foot, so the 33-foot has a big shower. Right. I think the biggest thing that would be difficult if you're a 6'4" human being is not even just the height, but like how thin the shower is. Because like if you're 6'4", you're probably not like.
Well, you could be.
I guess you could be tall and really, really small framed and thin, but like I feel like you're gonna kind of have to hunch down. If you have to hunch down, then your whole body kind of like moves kind of weird.
Yeah.
I feel
So
like that would be just
our
a
friend's
beautiful design.
boyfriend is probably like 6'3".
But they got the 33 foot.
He went with the 33. So he looked at both and he went with the 33 because of the shower, specifically because of the shower.
Bill says, in a word, if someone was that short, no. But there is a seat. That's true. There is a seat.
Right.
Because that covers the wheel well.
Yeah. And Bill, how tall are you? I know you told us in person, but...
So, Ed, will you continue to full-time without a home base? So, for now, yes.
Absolutely. I think so.
I think that, you know, everybody knows right now the housing market is ridiculously high right now. So it's not really a buyer's market for the kind of piece of property we would be looking at.
Oh, the market's high right now. Yeah.
So, you know, what goes up must come down. And when it does, we may look at, you know, investing in some property again and having like a more real home base. But not because we would be planning on living in it, but because real estate's a really darn good investment. We freaking love our life.
It would just
on the
be
road.
like property we can back up the Airstream on when we're not.
Yeah, that's what we talked about.
Base.
Having our own like spot where we can pull the Airstream in and have electric and water and all that kind of stuff. But who knows?
Yeah, like I've seen some where people have like they create like a platform they back up into with their Airstream, and then it has like an extended like outdoor kitchen and bathroom and showers and stuff like that.
Cool.
That would probably be it. Like just a nice piece of land or something. But owning another home, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like against it, but just not right now. Yeah. Okay, so Bill, you are okay. So 6'6". I would definitely say 6'6". Yeah. Definitely. Yep.
We'll talk about width. You're hilarious.
That's amazing. Okay, so another thing is we have another live stream coming up, maybe towards the end of the month. No, beginning of next month.
Beginning of next month.
With Steve. Steve is the owner of Bix Wireless. So if you've ever had
Good night, Drone's Eye View. Thanks for hanging out with us and
good night,
asking such good questions.
If you've ever had questions about getting internet on the road, we just thought we'd bring the owner on and just let you ask him all the questions, because there are technical questions that people ask us that we literally just don't have the answers to. And we figured, get the expert on the live stream and let you guys just berate him with questions all night and get all your answers, the answers to your questions about RV internet.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
And he's just a really nice guy. And for goodness sake,
Seriously.
he can explain things that are really complicated and technical in ways that people, even like me, can understand.
Yeah.
So that's really great. So it'll be really fun to have him on our live stream coming soon.
Again, just to reiterate, like, he's not paying us for any of this stuff. Like, legitimately, he's a resource. We're always trying to get to give you guys the best information. And we figured we had so many questions about the internet stuff. We were just like, we got to bring the owner on and just let him answer the questions. Because we don't. Caesar, welcome, my friends. Yeah, definitely. Eric Estrada. I used to have like Estrada sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, it was the best.
It was bad. There are photos. Okay, Aaron asks a good question. Any troubles finding campsites?
Any troubles finding campsites? That is the question we also get a lot of. I feel like we should probably shoot a video about that. We should definitely shoot a video about that.
So,
that's a really good idea.
Not really.
No.
It depends. Obviously, during the middle of the summer when kids are out of school, I mean, everybody and their mom is out camping. It's definitely a little more complicated.
If you're trying to get to Yellowstone or, Grand Tetons or something like that, it's gonna be
tailor
booked
your
out.
expectations,
of course.
But from a standpoint of finding campgrounds, we really haven't suffered too much. At the end of the day, our favorite trick is that if we want to stay somewhere longer, like for example, we'll be staying in Nashville longer than we expected since our trip to New York got pushed back a week.
Yeah.
We'll go and ask them if they have a space, and we'll probably have to move. We probably won't get to stay in our same spot that we're in today, but they're usually able to work around our schedule. And just sometimes you just have to move a couple times.
Yeah. So Aaron, honestly, it's I'm just going to be blunt. It's total crap. If you want to find a campground, you can. If you want to find the best campgrounds, you just have to be flexible, but you can always find a campground. We have never had an issue, literally. You might have to call around a few places, but you can camp anywhere in the country right now.
And also, if you run into an issue last minute, like when we were in California, we were in Paso Robles, and while we were there, we had booked a campground to stay because I couldn't find anywhere. And when we got there, it was so tight to get into it. Like, we just were like, okay, we give up. This is complicated. We're tired. So I literally just put it in Google Maps and found the next campground. And we drove up, and I walked in, and I'm like, any chance you have somewhere to stay for the night? And she's like, well, how long do you want to stay? And, we talked about it. And sure enough, no big deal. They had space.
That's another really good thing about campgrounds. They always have cancellations. So we literally know people that will just pull up the campgrounds without booking anything. Like, that's how they travel. They just pull up to the campground and they go, do you have any cancellations? And they've never had an issue because there's always a cancellation.
Yeah, true.
There's always some place
you might not get to stay as long as you want or whatever, but if you run into an issue, it's pretty common to have at least one spot.
100%. Justin, welcome. Yeah, so how much do we spend on fuel? Well, it's diesel fuel, so that's the variables are states, obviously. So if you're in California, you're going to spend more than if you were in another state. Like here in Tennessee, it's like $2 and something for diesel.
It's under for diesel.
Yeah, it's high twos. I think it was like, I saw a place at $2.89 for diesel per gallon.
And it also depends on how much we're moving.
It depends on how much you're moving.
We ended up in Lebanon at like the beginning of this month. And we're planning on continuing to travel, but life happens. We had to drop off our Airstream, and we're not getting out of here as quickly as possible. So we may spend a couple $100 on gas this month because we just really didn't travel a whole lot. But on months where we're traveling more, it can be $400, $500 a month in gas, especially while we were in California. It was definitely a solid $500.
If I have a really long, this is the way I kind of calculate. If I have a really long leg, like long travel day, I'm guessing I'm probably going to spend about $50 in gas to get from one location to the next. If I'm like crossing states, but once you get there, it really depends on California,
and then it's 100.
Right. That's true. It really depends on the state too, but that's typically what I Gosh, diesel is over $4 here. Yeah, we
paid almost $5 for a gallon in California when we were leaving.
Yeah, but I generally guesstimate that it's going to be around like, this day, this long a period of time is going to cost me like $50 to $60 to get from one campground to another. That's like across state lines, like far. And then once you're there, it really depends on how much you're going to travel in the city.
Yeah. Well, and then of course it's more expensive when you're towing the Airstream because you go through gas faster versus when you're just like teet-totting around town.
It depends on the vehicle you have as well. So some vehicles are going to get better gas mileage than others, for sure.
And how fast you drive.
And how fast you drive. I mean, there's a lot of variables when it comes to, so how fast you drive, what state you're in, and how far you're traveling.
Yeah. When like Bill
100%.
says Gas Buddy is a must-have app, like you can use things like Gas Buddy to find the cheapest gas. The only thing I will warn you about that is what we like to do is we like to fill up the truck before we ever
100%.
Hook up the Airstream.
Yeah.
And so that's a great time to use Gas Buddy. But if you're hooked up and towing, we don't necessarily advise just using Gas Buddy unless there are photos of the actual like gas station. You can also jump on Google Maps and put the name of it in your RV and like look at the satellite and see how big it is, because it's really easy to get in a icky situation when you are hooked up with your RV getting gas. Like I feel like every YouTube video we've ever watched where they wreck their RV is in a gas station.
Well, you can hit some of them are tight, right? Yeah. So literally, that's another thing that Lauren will do. Somebody mentioned that in the comments. If you've left a comment on the towing video, thank you, because there are some really awesome comments there that I think everybody should read. But she'll sometimes look at like Google Maps satellite images of the gas stations in advance before we get there. And you can tell if it's like a small gas station or a very big one.
True.
Another trick is that when we're going down the road, if you see the really tall signs that have like the huge like signage, like Pilot or Flying J's,
those are safe.
Pretty much solid. Yeah, those are where truckers are going to pull off.
Well, and we watch to see if truckers are pulling off, yes or no. If they're pulling off, it's probably a gas station from solid on.
That's exactly right.
Okay, No Dress Rehearsal has a great question. What's the average price of a paid RV site? Are they less expensive, or the less expensive sites usually sold out? So honestly, I don't think that the
it's
the
the
ones
same.
that are sold out are really dependent on the price. At least I've never really seen that to be the case. So more of your expensive sites are going to be those that have 50 amp hookups. We're a 50 amp hookup. So like 30, 50. 30s are usually cheaper.
If they have waterfront spots.
If they have sewer or
maybe.
not. Because a lot of paid campsites have just electric and water and don't have sewer. So they're a little bit more expensive if they have all three. But average for a site, it can be all over the board. We paid as much.
30 to...
So we paid as little as like
$14,
$15 for a state park where you have water and electric.
And
then we've seen campgrounds in California that were $300 a night, which I absolutely refuse.
It was in like Malibu. We were like,
because that's redunculous to bring your home and then still pay for like an expensive hotel.
$290 something a night in Malibu. We were like, no. We're done.
Our budget is that we try to stay around we try to average throughout the month $60 a night. And that's probably higher than what we would have to do. But when we're looking for campsites, we're really trying to look for like a fun, unique experience that we can, YouTube and share with you guys
and explore.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's probably higher. Like if you wanted to live full-time RV life, you probably wouldn't need to. Yeah. Like you could totally do it more on a budget than we do. And then of course there's always boondocking, which means you can camp for free.
For up to 2 weeks, typically in most places.
Yeah.
And not only that, if you're, like you said, if you're boondocking, but you can also negotiate rates. So let's just say, for instance, you're going to stay for like 2 weeks or a month. You can negotiate the rate.
You get better rates for staying longer typically.
So we know people that have paid like $400 for the entire month.
Yeah, which is pretty epic.
Just negotiated a rate with a campground. You have to remember, a lot of these campgrounds, there's thousands of them, are like family owned, right? And they need money to operate. So they're always willing to negotiate for the most part.
Truth. Caesar, where are we now? We are in Nashville, Tennessee, which is my hometown. We're going to be here for another week. We weren't expecting to be here for another week, but we got to go to New York next week for work. So going to be here a little bit longer, and of course, never complain about getting to spend more time with friends and family from here.
Christopher Chung, welcome, my friend. Airstream Bambi owners. We love the Bambi. Yes.
So we are planning on coming to North Carolina probably in the fall as we come back down south for the winter, but we have not made plans for exactly what we're going to do. So if you have ideas for epically cool, fun, unique local stuff we should do, please let us know.
North Carolina?
Yep, we would love that.
100%. Yeah. Tanya, have a very good evening.
Oh, thanks for joining us. Oh, hold on. I think we might have missed a good question.
Oh, got it. Oh, yeah.
So, Allie Greer, pardon me if it's a repeat question. No stress there. When opting to go full-time from renting
an apartment, any advice on financing an RV, or do you think the RV should be bought outright?
This is a very personal question.
Yeah, I think so, because it depends on your financial means. But the interest rates right now are so low. I mean, you can finance an RV over 20 years. Honestly, because of the way the market is now, and the interest rate being so low, we would have spent that on living quarters anyways. So if we calculated it out, if we had just driven the RV for a year and then sold it, it still would have been less than we were going to pay with either a house or living in Airbnbs and hotels. So we were going to come out ahead no matter what. And
so we ended up financing ours because the rate was so good that we could make better money in the market than we could just using the financing. And so that's the reason that we decided to do that. But again, a lot of people, we definitely are not proponents of living outside of your means. We love credit cards because we get all sorts of bonuses and perks from them, but we're also proponents of being, paying those off on a monthly basis. So it really just depends on what your financial situation is and what your goals are with RVing are. If you can't pay for an RV outright, I wouldn't say don't do it.
Well, interest rates are low. I mean, you can make money elsewhere. Yeah, I don't necessarily know if I just pay it off outright. Honestly, let's see. So Daniel, you pass us on the road in Arkansas. That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, we have so many people that we've kind of met on here that have passed us on the highway.
Yeah,
of course, we have like the big Wanderlocal thing on the side here.
But so it's kind of hard to miss us.
It is. That's true.
And we're a really big silver butt, so.
I mean, sure, it stands out like with a big blue truck, right? Like big bright blue truck, it's big silver Airstream.
Yeah.
So I mean, it stands out no matter what.
Okay, Justin says, have you guys been to the Seattle area? I would love to meet the both of you. Well, we would love to meet you as well. So when we're in Seattle, hit us up on the gram or Facebook or whatever, and we'll grab coffee.
That would be amazing.
We've been to
Coffee in Seattle.
We freaking love Seattle. We were actually there 2 years ago in July for my birthday. We did an Alaskan cruise, and we spent like a week there.
We brought some fresh flowers from the markets onto the cruise ship. And
the markets in Seattle are so beautiful. We cannot wait to come back. And when we were there,
Cheese Shop, very first Starbucks. I know there's probably like touristy spots, but we need to see more of it. Some craft breweries there as well in Seattle.
Yeah,
awesome.
So we are hoping to be back up there come spring, summer of this coming year, because obviously it's going to be too cold soon for us to be in the Airstream in Seattle, but it's on our list.
Yeah, and Therese, that's a great point. Prices of campgrounds vary greatly. National, state, and private. Yeah, I mean, it is all over the place.
Bill, I agree with that. Hilton has RV parks now. More like the Ritz-Carlton. Like, are you freaking kidding me? That is dumb.
300. I mean.
Oh, and Mike, good night. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening.
Mike, definitely. Yeah, no, 300 a night. Like, it should come with an in-house masseuse and jacuzzi hot tub and I don't know, like chocolate covered strawberries. Like for 300 a night, you should get something except or beyond just parking your RV. I feel like that's ridiculous.
Super true.
And again, like to you guys about that. So because we don't have a mortgage, we put everything on our credit cards and obviously just pay off the end of the month. But we rack up so many points. The advantage to that is that because they won't let you put your mortgage on a credit card, obviously, but we get to put everything on a credit card that we would normally pay for. So we rack up free hotel nights, free flights, free this, free that. So if you see us traveling a lot outside of the RV, just know that it's all paid for and it's awesome.
Yeah, we are really good at the credit card game. We figured that out while we were like living internationally.
Exactly. Yeah, knowing how to work the credit cards to your advantage is another skill. It's constantly have to work on it, but there are some perks for sure.
Totally.
Yeah, not to mention the lounges, but we haven't been to airports and whew.
Caesar, thanks for coming and joining us, and thank you.
Yeah, gosh. Oh, so Erica, thank you so much. You're coming in from Texas. You were
we're freezing in Texas.
Oh man, gosh. Like take a couple of newbies and then throw them into a Texas freeze. It was like the perfect storm, literally. There are so many lessons learned from that Texas experience that we will take with us.
Oh my God.
Life lessons, I feel. We were underprepared. Yeah, and
we've learned to be so much more prepared. I feel like RV life has taught us to be so much prepared than we were in like our international travel world.
It's true.
Because you really have to, like, it just has. I don't really know, like, we're definitely, don't get me wrong, we are spontaneous people. I don't think anybody would, like,
we're always going to be those people that are just spontaneous.
Us not to be, but we're a little like, I even had a conversation at work yesterday where I was like looking at my calendar in advance and was like, hey, I need some help on this project because I'm going to be out this week. And they're like, oh my gosh, Lauren, we're so impressed with you, like, looking in advance and not telling us last minute. And I'm like, hashtag RV life.
Yeah.
You just have to plan ahead more. It's a really weird thing.
I feel like at some point we're going to have to drive our RV to like the frozen tundra just to see if we have learned enough of those valuable lessons to survive. Because like we got our butts handed to us so bad.
A frozen tundra? Are you kidding me? That sounds like a horrible idea.
Yeah. Yeah, we got our butts handed to us. So like, could we survive?
There's a frozen tundra video coming in our future, y'all. Hopefully it's on purpose.
Yeah, Erica was, so, I mean.
Okay, so Erica says, trust me, it was a lesson for us. We live here and we're underprepared. Have worked this summer to build a reserve in case it happens again. That makes sense. Yeah, 100%. It was crazy. Well, I mean, kind of like the hurricane hitting in New York this evening. Like, it's in Florida, you know, hurricanes are just like, oh, whatever, like, let's throw a hurricane party. But when it's a kind of extreme weather that you're, like, not used to, it's a whole different ballgame.
100%.
Whole different ballgame.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing there was, and no politics here, but the power being off was just super sucked because if we had power, we had heat, but we had no power, and generators and fuel and everything was hard to come by. Propane, everything was, people were fighting for it all. So I don't have to tell you that, Erica. The problem with gas and propane is everybody ran out or they didn't have power to power the gas pumps. So they made it a very sticky situation.
We learned some very, very interesting things. Although I will say, We get a really big kick out of the Canadians who leave comments on those videos, and they're like, "You guys."
I know. We love you, Canadians. I promise.
So true.
I promise we do.
I love how much they're like, "Y'all are pathetic."
They're like,
so funny.
They're like, it's -20 and we're out rolling in the snow. Like, no big deal. I'm like, I totally get that.
We're like, yes,
I
we
get
agree.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
we wish we were you, but
I know. Yeah,
we're
no,
from Florida.
I've got nothing to say. Yeah, bunch of baby. Like
Yes, we are.
we're on the
kind of a
struggle
bunch of
bus.
babies.
We're on the struggle bus during that freeze.
But it is totally different when you're not used to that kind of weather. That was crazy, for sure. But yeah. Did you have anything else on your list that we needed to cover this evening?
That was it. I think we covered pretty much everything. Lots of fun, exciting things coming up that we can't wait to share with you all. So stay tuned.
Do y'all have any
More fun
last
videos.
questions? Last call?
Last call.
Last
It's like
questions,
last
questions?
round, right? Like last round.
Yeah, last round.
It's closing time. Play the closing time song. We can't play that. It's copyrighted.
Closing time.
Oh, copyright! Shh. Copyright infringement. No, you can't use anybody's lyrics or anything. That's the way it works on
You
YouTube.
use like 5 seconds of them. I think.
Erica, I love you. That is awesome. Team Mullet,
PVC says Mohawk.
2112. Team Mohawk. Okay, I love that.
That's a very
Fontaine,
darn good question.
when you get a
Maurice.
haircut, I don't know. I mean, when it's looking this awesome,
I mean,
don't know.
technically he got a haircut last week.
yeah. So I mean, that's
And
why
it still looks
somebody
like
said I
this.
needed a little bit tighter on the sides, so I got it trimmed a little bit. But more awesomeness coming soon. So cool.
All right, guys. Well, it was so much fun to hang out with y'all.
Pappy's Tube.
Pappy's Tube, welcome. It's good to see you. And Bill, thank you. It's good to see you too. Hopefully we'll get
Pappy's
to see
Tube.
in
You and your
person soon.
lovely lady. Hello from both of us.
All right, y'all. Well, until next time, it was so good to hang out with you guys. And like you know, make sure y'all wander local this week. It's good for the soul.